Hey everybody, Josh Wigler with Hollywood Reporter here. Very excited to be talking to this man, your Emmy nominee, David Harbour of Stranger Things. David, how are you doing?
I'm good, man, I'm good.
Welcome to Comic-Con.
Welcome to Comic-Con. Right, it's very loud, lots of people.
Energy? Yes.
You know, it's good and it's bad, right? It's so amazing. The fans are so amazing. It's really fun, and then it's also wildly exhausting. I might fall asleep in the middle of this interview, but I hope you won't.
It's
not you.
That
it's
will be
just
on me.
all the selfies.
So
okay.
Congratulations again, Emmy nomination for Stranger Things.
Yeah,
That's very
thank
exciting.
You. It was very exciting. Yes.
Where were you when you heard the news?
I was asleep. As per Hopper, but also like it was funny. Like 2 days before, I found out the nominations were coming out on Thursday. I forget these things, and I found out they're coming out on Thursday. So 2 days before, I went on all these websites, including Hollywood Reporter,
That's us.
And there were a bunch of pundits on your site as well who were predicting who would get nominated. And I was nowhere on any of those lists. And
you were like, I can sleep in tomorrow.
And I thought, well, I don't really care about awards in that way. It's so selfish. Like, I love what I do, and it's such an honor and a privilege to get to do what I do. And I was like, but I am gonna have one bad day on Thursday when like they come out and I'm not ready. And then so I was like, David, just sleep in. Don't look at social media. Get through your day, and you'll be fine. And then I woke up to a frantic call from my manager saying you've been nominated, and I was like, what? And I freaked out, and then I put my phone down and I went out and had a cup of coffee on the deck and just like took it in, and it was a really nice moment. And then I got on a plane, so I went through airport security, which is another great way to spend a celebration, taking your shoes off and being humiliated. Hands up, feet on the yellow.
Right.
So, yeah.
The red carpet.
Yeah, exactly.
Different kind of
the red carpet.
Kind of red carpet.
Exactly.
18 nominations total.
Yeah,
for
19 actually. You know, there's a VR nomination, which they don't really. We have a virtual reality thing, but 19 nominations.
That's pretty amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
The first season of the show, everybody on the set must be so excited. Everyone in the cast and the crew. Was there a moment while making that first season of Stranger Things that anybody had any conception of? We've got something like really, really, really special here.
Not a single moment. There was actually the opposite of that moment. There was moments like around episode 4 and 5 where we were like, this is terrible, and we're all never. And we're gonna be the first show from Netflix that won't get a second season. Like at that point, every show had gotten a second season, and we were like, wow, this is terrible. It's gonna be awful. But then, of course, when it came out, when I saw it all cut together, I myself am such a fan of the show, and I'm so critical of everything I do, and I'm not very proud of a lot of things I do, and I was so proud of this, and I thought it was so special. But the fact that audiences connected with it as well is rare, because sometimes you like something, but you don't know if it'll translate into other people. And the fact that it translated so big was like such a surprise, and it was also just really gratifying, because we're so proud of the work that we put into it, and we're so excited to continue to work on these characters and continue to go deeper. So like, yeah, it really is a dream come true.
What is it about Hopper that you connect to most? I mean, he goes on such a ride in that first season where he starts off in bed, you know, after a really rough night, clearly, and he's having a really rough reacclimation into the day,
yeah.
and it just gets worse across the season. What is it about that character that you really connected with?
First of all, I love, I love the classically defined difficult leading man, but I also like the fact that he's someone who, especially in the beginning, like, you don't necessarily root for him, you know? I mean, I was reminded of like Walter Matthau in Pelham 1, 2, 3, where you set up Robert Shaw, who's this villain, or you set up this problem that's like so big and scary and strong, and then you meet a schlub who's like gonna, like Walter Matthau or me, who's like gonna deal with this problem, and you're like, there is no way that schlub is gonna be able to take out like, a missing child and a monster and all this stuff. So that's one of the gratifying things, and one of the fun things about playing him was that we had all the episodes, so I sort of knew where he was gonna end up. So in the beginning, I could really structure him to be a real jerk, because I knew where he would go. So I really did want people to have, if not mixed feelings, like actually bad feelings about him, and then have them go on the journey and really find that thing of like, oh no, this guy's more than this. So that was quite, that's probably my favorite part of playing him, is that he is so complicated. And also one other thing is like, I really like the fact of the unsentimentality of the death of his daughter, the earnestness, but the unsentimentality. Like, it's very important to me that sometimes in our culture we're very concerned with like feeling better, like taking care of our emotions. And I really like the fact that with Hopper, there's this one thing that he will never get over. And even as he saves Will and he finds his life again, you still know that that lingers somewhere, that there are certain things that happen to us where we do not recover from. And I like the stark reality of that. It's almost like, you know, there's like a quote from John Ruskin, who's like an art critic who talks about looking at the ocean and like just staring at it and realizing that it is black and unending. And like just that kind of stark reality of a situation, I feel like is very close to Hopper. So I love that about him.
Well, that was great too, because that backstory really starts to unfold in the finale of season 1, which already has so much business to take care of. You're plunging into the Upside Down, you're going on the mission to save Will Byers, you're going to find poor Barb somewhere in there as well.
Exactly.
And yet the show still takes time to dig into Hop's past and show what it was like when he was a father. Was that gratifying to be able to not only do sort of like the action horror side of it in that final episode, but also really a very personal, dramatic story as well?
Yeah, exactly. We shot it very differently as well. It was our last day of shooting all those flashbacks, and I really liked, because it sort of fits perfectly. You're right that we do go off on the tangent, and there's a lot in the episode. We have to stick with the story, but we do go off in this way, and but it's very related to what's happening in the action. Like, you can't really see him save Will without understanding why he's so viciously trying to give him CPR. And so you start to see a little bit of that history, and it's very gratifying to play, and it's very gratifying to see it cut together.
Once upon a time, I spoke with Noah Schnapp about that scene, about the CPR scene. He said it was very gross on his end.
The child abuse scene? I know. Oh man, that poor
kid. That up, there was, he has all of this. He's finding Will. He's in the Upside Down. He's got all the gunk in his mouth, and you have to do CPR to save his life. What was practically involved in that scene?
Well, at one point we did have a dummy, so for some of my close-ups and for up high, I could really go to town on this dummy, because it's like 30 pressures and then 2 breaths and 30, and so I could go to town on this dummy, but then we had to put Noah in for a couple of them when we moved the camera a little bit to his face, and there were a couple takes where, God bless the strength of Noah Schnapp, because I did forget it was not the dummy for a couple times, and that poor child, I really revived him, or practically killed him. He's a strong little dude, though. God bless him.
Yeah. So he's back in Hawkins. Season 2. Season 2 is coming out in October.
Yeah, October 27th.
Halloween themed Stranger Things season 2.
Seems like it. I don't know what I'm supposed to reveal, but yes, it seems like the children are in costumes, walking around trick or treating. Yes.
So it seems appropriate, at least in terms of the timing. What can you say about season 2 in terms of it being an evolution of where you guys were in season 1? How does it push the ball forward?
I mean, the greatest thing sort of about season 2, and I went into the editing room and watched a little bit like a week ago, and the first 5 minutes you're not going to know you're watching Stranger Things. You're going to literally be checking the thing and being like, did I put on like and then something happens in the last part of that 5 minutes when you realize that we sort of open up the world in a whole fresh new way, and we introduce some new concepts, and it's things that the fans had mentioned and been talking about, and I don't want to bring up specifically what those are, but we delve into questions that you guys had about the past histories of these people, and it really opens up the world, and then the whole world is able to get bigger and sort of just bigger and darker and weirder, and I think it's going to be, I think people are really going to be blown away.
The fact that there's even a second season, clearly the show was a huge hit. But I think a lot of people reached the end of that first season like, is this going to be an anthology? Is this just going to be a done-in-one type of story? Were you surprised at all when conversations started happening about season 2, or did you see that this world could be expanded pretty immediately?
I mean, it was funny. To be honest, like the Duffers, when they started the conception of this project, thought that it would be one season, and then perhaps we would flash forward and see the kids grown up, and see they're dealing with it almost like Stephen King's It or something, right? But even as we were developing the scripts, and Netflix said to them, and very rightly, they were like, people are going to fall in love with these characters. Like, we don't want to just abandon them after one season. And So we do have a complete story in season 1, but we sort of added some little extra things to open-end it. And I must say that there are mixed feelings out there. There are some people that wanted it to be an anthology and wanted these characters to just be themselves. But the amount of depth and complexity that we're allowed to go into now with these people, and the amount of different journeys that they're able to take over the season, is like, we would have missed out on a lot had we not been able to take these characters. And I think that we, the Duffers and all the actors included, just fell so hard in love with these people that we didn't want to let them go.
So speaking of the kids, like, everyone truly did fall in love with these kids. They're fantastic. Everyone loved them. Millie Bobby Brown also nominated for an Emmy this year.
Yeah.
Are you going through the experience together? How are you guys processing this?
We just, like, it came out just like a week ago or something, right? Or a week and a half. So we just texted, like, we've been off, she's shooting something, I'm in the middle of something, and so we just texted. She's a sweet little thing. She was like, congratulations, like, smiley face, and I said, congratulations to you, little hotshot. So we've just been texting a little bit, but we haven't really gone into the whole big Emmy thing yet.
Right.
I think that's going to start a little later.
You didn't, like, send her a basket of Eggos?
Oh no, a fruit plate or something? I got to do that. All right, I got to go buy some Eggos. Good deal. That's good. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thanks so much for watching, for seeing this man right here. Very excited for you. Congratulations again. For all of our Emmy coverage, go to THR.com. Take care, everybody.